What is up, everybody? We're going to be watching some crashes and close calls so that we can learn from them. But before we jump into that, we do have a 50% off sale going on for the Smart Rider Drill booklet. You're going to get 20 plus drills. It's basically 15 bucks. Practice in a parking lot, get better at what you're doing, and then you actually get the digital version on your phone as a download with it. So 15 bucks, you get that. Just go ahead and grab it. It's on sale for this weekend for Halloween. Click the link, automatically adds a discount to your cart. Let's get into this. Trying to learn from people.
This video for you. I hope all of you will learn something from this situation. So check this out.
Okay.
Right.
Welcome, Hog Rider. Oh, a little bit maybe a little too fast in the corner. We got full gear. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. But we low sided. So we're gonna take a quick look at that. So he's able to lift the bike up. Everything's fine. Okay. Person's helping to check. You know, they want to rescue. Very good. All right, let's go and take a look at what happened here. So we're going a little fast.
So check this out.
Well, not too fast.
Safe.
Oh, I wonder if he hit some road surface so maybe some gravel. So the road, I mean, that's the drainage area, right? So when it rains and when there's a lot of water, it's going to pull a lot of the dirt from the road, and that's where it goes. So if we hit the gutter area, we're going to have some gravel. So maybe there's some gravel, and then we slid from underneath. So stay away from that as best you possibly can. Get a little bit wider. Give yourself a space cushion from that. But as a smart rider, we're wearing full protective gear just in case something happens. But we're trying to seek and recognize and understand those hazard situations, utilizing the plan method. So we're positioning ourselves away from the gutter. We're locating that it was a gutter. We're going to assess if it's a relevant threat. Not really, because now we're in a good position. We don't really have to navigate it. So we're constantly rotating that. So we're going to use the plan method for a lot of this stuff. And right here, this is definitely a hazardous situation. We might be the relevant threat, and maybe we have to navigate ourselves off the bike if we're going to continue doing this and put ourselves in a position like on the couch watching this live stream. Because 146 miles per hour, weaving in and out of traffic, it looks like we're going to have a death wobble going on. So what typically happens there is if we're going super fast and we hit a bump, it's going to cause the suspension to do this, which is going to cause the handlebars to do this. Another way that can happen is if you land a wheelie, a little bit, crooked, lands like this, it's going to start doing this, trying to stabilize. Bad suspension, fork oil is all gone, whatever. But definitely speed and hitting some bumps will cause this. So don't go super duper fast. Our bikes can do it, but maybe our suspension isn't up to par. Maybe our tires are not up to par, the PSI damage, whatever it is. And maybe we only had one hand on the handlebars. But let's see what happens here. There's the speed wobbles. Probably hit one of the reflectors. I think it's time for a steering damper. That will definitely help. But you know what else would help? Not going 146 miles per hour weaving in and out of traffic. He's probably going about half a mile trying to keep the bike up. Probably crapped his pants a few times already. He's got some urea smell in the front area. Oof. Got lucky there. All right, so we're having some fun with our buddies here. Going a little wide, that person right there. Oh, that bike is done. That bike is done. Thankfully, the bike hit, not his rib cage or spine wrapping around that pole. So once again, we want to rescue, RESQ, remain calm and sure on safety, stop major bleeds, quickly assess severity. If you need... Oh, she went a little wide. Bike is done. She's doing fine. That's good, though. That's what matters. All right, let's take a look at what happened here. So stay right here. Keep that space cushion. We're riding in a group. Just kind of relax. Not a big deal. So we got up here. Maybe we went a little too fast. Like, uh-oh. Start slowing down before the turn. So maintain that space cushion as best you can. She tried to find a gap, not much of a gap. So she kind of pushed herself out. It's pretty difficult. And then we hit the ground. Maybe panicked a little bit. Thankfully, she didn't wrap around the bike or the pole, and it was the bike that got damaged. All right, here we go. Having some fun in the villages.
A slight mistake in that corner could have had serious consequences.
Oh, applied a little too much rear brake. Oh, good job. Hey, that looks like a beginner. I call that a success. It's a learning moment. We didn't crash. We had a close call, So what can we do differently in this situation? So we're coming up here. We have the chevrons in that turn right next to the head right there, indicating it's a sharp turn. It's a blind corner. So let's go ahead and go into this a little bit slower. This is definitely an orange stage situation. Corners, intersections, open lane pattern, side of the vehicle, that kind of stuff puts you in that, this is weird. I don't like this. So we're going a little too fast. We're starting to do this like turning thing where we go in, go out, go in, go out, go in, go out. So it's definitely like a beginner. Probably applied too much rear brake, lost traction on that rear tire. So it's a beginner, right? Was able to navigate it. Scary that you have a car coming, but they didn't panic and look to the outside. They looked where they needed to go. So I look at this as a success. The focal vision is right here, that they target fixated there. Typically, you see people target fixate over here. They crash into that, but this guy right here is going towards the escape. So very good. Learn from it. Go a little slower. Practice your turning skills. Have some fun. There you go. Oh, geez. We all got lucky right here. We all got lucky right there. Okay, let's see that one more time. Just the fact that he's able to pull a wheelie, look back. You see how he's turning left because he's looking back? You know, you go where you go. You go where you look. And that person's like, oh, crap. Gain traction. We're going to have a nice little stoppy here. Got lifted up just a little bit. Thankfully, we didn't go flying over. We got some good balance here. So skill set's coming in handy. Handled it. Handled it. Now let's not do that again. Oh, don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Grom clone catching fire. Uh-oh. Little Chinese bike.
2 moments later.
Hey, you got a fire. Oh, geez. Might as well get like an e-bike at this point instead of like a Grom clone.
Nothing. Call the fire department.
Yeah. Yeah, I say so. Might as well call the fire department. Because that thing, like, you don't have any water. There's no dirt to throw on it. It's just going to burn up. It's done. We're just going to show up either with, like, a bumper line or the PW can, the pressurized water can, and just... Let's see what they do, though. A little bumper line and some tank water. You don't even need a hydrant for that.
In this clip, it's worth pointing out that even though there was danger, the rider stayed
bee?
home and managed to pull over safely.
Oh, there's a bee. Oh my gosh. And we took the helmet off? Got lucky there. How's he? He's doing pretty good balancing that bike. He's not panicked whatsoever. I would slide the helmet back on, but he's doing pretty good here. Remain calm. Love it. Handled it. All right, here we go. Hey, there's that brake-free thing. So that Doodle always uses. So you see how it shows it right there? Would a small extinguisher help with that fire? Probably. Probably once it started, but you don't have it. Yeah, an ABC fire extinguisher on that last one. Yeah. I mean, you could try to escape to the right, but drunk drivers, man. Guys, don't go out drinking and driving. Like it's one thing to is it again? So it's one thing to see this and like hear about other people drinking and driving and having crashes, and then they get, go to jail and all this other stuff. They kill like a family. I mean, if you're out there drinking and like buzzed and then going home, like just buzzed, not even drunk. Like it's a depressant. It's depressing your nervous system. So you will be slower to react. So in a turn, you might go into somebody else's lane and not realize it until you're like, oh crap, oh, very funny. And you get back in your lane. Nothing happened. But something like this can happen. Just get an Uber. Just get an Uber. Tell the bar, hey, I'm leaving my car here because I drank too much. I'm gonna get an Uber. Is it gonna be safe here? And they could say yes or no, but they're not responsible. But still, just don't drink. And if you're gonna drink, have one beer, one drink, and then wait like an hour and a half. Like finish the beer, then wait. Don't be like, I'm drinking beer for an hour and then 20 minutes later you leave. No, like once you finish that last sip, wait an hour, drink plenty of water, during all that time. Or just don't drink. Drink at home like everyone else. By yourself, sad. No, just don't just don't do this. Get an Uber because you're going to kill someone. Or avoid Wisconsin. Okay. Yeah. He tried to jump. Massive injuries. I don't know. I hope something. I hope they're fine. We're just gonna see it like 5 times. Moto Stars. Yeah. So it's that turn. They were like. They just.
It was at this moment when I finally completed the curve that I realized that this person was in my lane.
Yeah.
I had this amount of time to make my decision. I could have gone left, but I was
good
afraid
after
someone
action.
could be behind them driving in the proper lane.
Yeah.
Since I couldn't see around them. I could have gone right, but I did not want to plow into, well, the plow. So instead I decided to use my old skills as a bull rider to go up. Putting this amount of distance from my bike and their hood was all I needed to avoid what
Look at that
would have been a deadly accident.
Look at that.
The difference from being
that's all you can really do.
and being here is what the CHP said saved my life.
Yeah, I was gonna say just the fact that there's an after action review that they can speak on this means that they're still alive.
You just hit me, mother. Siri, no, call ambulance.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, hopefully you're able to call. It's like if you can't walk and you can't get to your phone.
Okay. Any pain here?
No, sir.
So I'm trying to look at any deformities on the legs. Doesn't look like
Here?
No, sir.
they're checking body,
Okay. We should take a quick look.
checking abdomen for any distension, any tenderness, like where it's like
What's your birthday?
it's almost like a cramp.
Is it okay if I roll your hips a little bit? Right here?
That hurts. Okay.
19
We'll
what?
take a look at that.
1978.
You don't want to move them. Good. So right hip,
Your leg hurt here?
right leg.
You need a hand in it? The knee hurts.
I'm just, no.
They're doing a rapid trauma assessment.
Take this stuff off real quick.
Sure, yeah, whatever you got.
So they're gonna cut those pants off.
Okay, yeah, that leg hurts. That leg's really
This
bad. I
leg?
can tell that one's broken.
Yeah, left leg, left.
Right there.
Right here?
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Left
I see a
hip
little
fib.
blood through there. We'll cut that
I'm
out.
pretty sure my bones are hanging out of my leg. I just now.
So compound
Yeah.
fracture possibly.
Once you start moving stuff and the adrenaline wears off of here, I'm going to take this off the best I can here.
Sure, whatever you gotta do.
As long as I'll cut it if I have
I've done this. I've done that so many times. So I just kind of want to go over a little bit here. I was talking over a little bit. So what they're doing.
Okay.
So now firefighters are on scene. So they're doing a head to toe rapid trauma assessment. They're just checking for any deformities. So it's called DCAP BTLS. So deformities, contusions, abrasions, punctures, tenderness, lacerations. I think I said burn somewhere in there and swelling. So they're checking for all those things. Anything. So like if you look at yourself right now, so like you look at me, like pretty normal, right? Skin color, tone, everything. Arms are anatomical. But all of a sudden you see like some like black here or like a cut here or like my arm is like this. That's when it becomes, hey, it's abnormal. That's not supposed to be like that. So that's what typically people kind of go to. They look for those deformities, contusions, and all that stuff. And so if you look at yourself and it's like, hey, that looks normal, anything abnormal is what's happened in the accident. So they're looking at this person, they're checking the head, neck, collarbones, chest, they're checking shoulders, arms, they're checking down here into the abdomen. And so what they're looking for is like if they press, because they're pressing, right? So they're pushing down. That's why you see the body moving. They're pressing because if all of a sudden it kind of goes in a little bit or it doesn't feel normal, they press the abdomen. It's supposed to be squishy, right? It's supposed to be a little squishy. But if all of a sudden you press on it and it feels like it's a hard muscle, that means there's some internal bleeding going on. It's just kind of like swelling. So when they press on, they're like, that's not good. So they're going to keep going to each of the quadrants. There's 4 quadrants in the abdomen. And then basically, upper I'm sorry, upper right quadrant is gonna be your liver. So if all of a sudden it's like, oh, that's painful and it's like really hard, it means you probably have some like a liver laceration or something. That's not good. So they're gonna constantly do that and they're checking for anything like that. And they're gonna lift the shirt up and they're gonna see if there's any cuts, any lacerations, any like bruising. If it bruises like immediately after a crash, there's a lot of internal bleeding. Bruising is usually a late sign. And so that means there's a lot of bruising, means there's a lot of bleeding going on. They're gonna go into the hips. They're gonna press on the hips and see if it's stable. If all of a sudden it starts to collapse in, they're not pushing hard. It just collapses in just a little bit. Then more than likely there's gonna be a hip fracture. They're checking the iliac crest up here. They might check. They're gonna check the pubic area and see if there's any type of breaking or any type of swelling there. Go down in the leg. You're gonna see it right here. But they're actually doing head to toe, and then they're going to start cutting stuff. Typically, you want to keep patient privacy, so you're gonna probably do it in the back of the ambulance. But if it's obvious, they're gonna cut it and they're gonna do what they need to do. He said that there's some bleeding there, so probably compound fracture. This person right here said that, hey, there's that hurts. It feels like it's broken. Probably compound fracture. So the bone's sticking out, causing external bleeding. You can't really put a tourniquet on that, but what you can do is put something high and tight. If it is bleeding out, you don't want to put it on the actual bone. But they're going to cut the pants, and then they're going to actually hopefully stop the bleeding on that part. But they're going to have to take a lot of this stuff off, and you want to do it quickly, especially if the person is not breathing, if they're unconscious, if it's a lot of external bleeding. You're just going. You're moving, because surgery is going to be the one thing that's going to save this person's life. It's not going to be you handling and stopping bleeding on scene and be like, hey, we're good. That's what's happening here. So we're going to see real quick.
Any pain here?
You see the body moving?
Here?
No, sir. No,
Here?
sir. Mm-mm.
Okay. We should take a quick look. Anything here?
No,
So they're checking the abdomen,
sir. You have permission to touch me anywhere you need to.
Okay.
What's your birth?
which is good because it's a consent thing. You need it's implied consent if they're unconscious. It's implied that somebody would want somebody to do what they needed to do to save your life. When they're conscious and alert, verbal, pain, or unresponsive. So if they're alert, you do have to get consent. And so the fact that they're like, yeah, go ahead and do whatever you need to do. Perfect. I'm going to do what I need to do then. Typically ask that at the beginning anyways.
Day, Marissa. April 18th.
Is it okay if I...
So he wants to rotate, put him in an anatomical position. So using the ground as a spine board, like a splint for the spine if you're laying on your back. That's why you always lay somebody down on their back. So lay the rider down, monitor any changes for that stuff. And so he's going to try to do that, but there's going to be some pain there. So it's like, okay, we're not going to move you because there's the pain. We're going to probably give you some medication so that it's a little bit easier. But we're going to try this. And then if there's pain on the hips, hey, good to know.
I roll your
My
hips a
hip
little
does
bit?
hurt.
Right here?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
19
We'll
what?
take a look at that.
1978, sir.
And when I've had mid femur fractures, and they use a traction splint, you can pull manual traction. When I've seen mid femur fractures, a lot of blood loss, and so you'll see like a collapse in the middle of the leg right here. So for those of you who don't know what a femur is, the femur is right here. You'll see like a collapse right there. So typically it's a straight line, but you'll see like that, and then it even shortens. So like since it's broken, it's gonna do this a little bit. And it's going to be a little bit of a collapse. So that leg will actually be short. You can also tell with a hip fracture with the head of the femur going into the pelvis, that leg will actually be shorter. And so that's an interesting thing to see. And then the leg will be rotated too. So very dangerous, not good. But checking that.
You need anything right now, Marcel?
So that's how we find out. It's like we touch it, just barely touch it. Ow. Hey, that's probably broken.
Leg hurt here? What's up, brother?
You need a hand in there?
So legs are hurt.
No.
So we're talking about mechanism of injury here. We saw the person jump up and get hit. So the legs probably hit the handlebars going up. And so we talk about doing frontal impacts and having that open book fracture on the front because they didn't jump up. So it's going to be the fracture here, the fracture right here because they slide on the gas tank. But he jumped up. And so now it's the tib fib in the knee area that's hurting because that's what hit the handlebars versus the pelvis. So I would rather have broken tib fibs and maybe a knee than a pelvic fracture because a pelvic fracture, you have a lot of blood flow because the femoral arteries are going through your pelvis. You can bleed out quickly. It's not good.
I'm not seeing anything major. I'm going to take this stuff off real
Sure,
quick.
yeah, whatever you gotta do. You guys can cut things off, whatever you gotta do. Okay, yeah, that.
So cutting things off, that's why in the we only have a few more of these left. But that's why we have trauma shears. I want to cut that stuff off, put tourniquets, all that stuff.
That leg hurts. That leg's really
This
bad. I
leg?
can tell that one's broken.
Where is it
Yeah,
hurt?
right there.
Right here?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I see a little blood through there. We'll cut that out.
And it could be a laceration. It could be an internal break, and it's not a compound fracture, but it could be a laceration on the outside that's causing that. Is the trauma shear strong enough to cut through Kevlar? Yeah, if you get good trauma shears, and these trauma shears will cut through Kevlar, it's going to be a little more difficult, but they're designed to cut through a lot of stuff.
I just now feel it.
Yeah. Once you start moving stuff and the adrenaline wears off of hair, I'm going to take this off the best I can.
It's true.
Whatever you gotta do.
He's-
As long as
They're going to be in
cut it
pain.
if I have to.
Very interesting. You said there's a part 2. This might be a long video, guys, just because you guys said there's a part 2. Let's see. Usually they don't put. All right, let me try this. This might be a longer video. This is interesting. Whenever I can do some medical stuff, I just get back in my mode. Okay, so I'm looking on this side. I'll probably cut this part out on the actual video. Update to. Okay. I'll show you guys 1 second. Let me get.
Hormone replacement therapy.
Trying to her on under.
You gotta do.
As long as I'll cut it if I have to, but
Sure, whatever you gotta do.
Okay.
I got a good strong radial, by the way, Taylor.
So strong radial arteries are getting a radial, so radial pulse. So that means that the blood flow is actually going to the end of the arm. If he has good radial, so you can actually feel it, it means the blood pressure is above 90 at least. And so that also means that the arteries are actually flowing through. The blood vessels are good. So that's good. That's a good sign. It's just something that they say out loud. So that's what trauma shears do.
It's like you have a.
Yeah, once you get a little bit, you can just start doing that. You don't have to keep cutting. You can just, once you get a good, you just go.
Another layer on under
Yes,
here.
sir. I'm wearing slide pants.
Okay.
Slide pants.
Oh, yeah,
Interesting.
it's
I'm
okay.
sorry.
It's okay. It's okay. I know you didn't do it on
Do you have
purpose.
any medical problems?
No, I had Wolf Parkinson's white when I was a kid, and it was corrected, so no.
Interesting that the camera's actually set up like this.
I'm trying to work around it here. No medical problems other than Wolf Parkinson's, right? You take medication for anything at all?
So yeah, they ask that any medical conditions, because some people are like, no, I don't have anything. And then you ask what kind of medications you take. And we're like, well, I take nitro and a few other. It's like, oh, so you have a heart condition. It's like, oh, I don't have any medical conditions. Yeah, but I take insulin every day. You know, after, it's like, oh, so you have diabetes. And so they're asking these multiple things because they need to have that. And there's somebody actually scribing all that stuff just in case. He's probably going to ask if he has any allergies to anything next.
I take medication for hormone replacement therapy.
Okay. Other than that?
No, sir.
Okay.
I'm very lightheaded, and oh, that
Copy.
hurt. Oh, that hurts.
Yeah, we've got a little gash there in the leg.
So it's a
Maybe some.
laceration.
Large or medium? Probably large. Huh?
Just keep talking to
Yeah,
us.
all those places are in pain, sir.
All this is?
So
From the knee
left
down.
leg, left tib fib area.
Okay. I'm going to take a look at that in a second, but none of that's a life threat to me right now.
Right, I agree.
So he's talking, he's breathing. He did say that there's getting a little lightheaded, and that's typical. Blood pressure is going to drop because in adrenaline, your blood vessels are going to constrict, your breathing rate's going to increase, and so then once the adrenaline goes off, your blood vessels start to dilate, and then that's when your blood pressure starts dropping. You start getting a little lightheaded, but then they'll start stabilizing. The fact that they're on the ground, that's kind of a good thing. So we got more people on scene.
She was on the motorcycle.
Motorcycle.
She was on a motorcycle. Yeah. By herself? Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes. We went.
So by yourself, we got to ask that because there's sometimes where there could be a patient in the field and it's at night, you don't know, and you're just doing this, so you handle the patient. There's been times on car accidents where I'd see a child seat in the back, and there's two people in the front, and I'd be like, hey, "Did you guys have a child in the back?" They're like, "No, they're babysitting or they're not with us right now." So you always have to be careful with that. You never know.
Hit the front end of that car that you passed.
I've had to search for people with
These two
Uh,
over here before us, they said they don't know what
a
happened.
camera.
I have everything on tape.
She said she has everything on tape.
I hear that. Okay.
So now we got so the fire truck was probably the first on scene, and now we have ambulance coming up.
Driving like to where they stop right there? Or? Yeah, when I came around the corner. She didn't get hit over there, right? Fly all. No, she got hit over here. Okay. Or like, I'm probably where like both these cars should like.
You never get to see this type of stuff, but this is what I used to do.
Come on, keep talking to us, baby. You gotta keep talking to us. Keep talking to me.
Yo,
You probably see the stars.
So they're having to cut everything so we can expose the skin,
Keep talking to
and so we can see actual damage.
Yeah, I am.
all right.
I already got demos, Cap, so.
Pretty diaphoretic, pretty sweaty there. Can you give me?
So diaphoretic and sweaty. So think of diaphoresis as you just got out of the shower, you haven't dried yourself off. That's how wet. Like your body will just start letting go of the moisture and the water in your skin, basically. Anything that's inside your sweat glands just goes. It's out. So what's happening is that with that adrenaline, all the blood and everything's being shunted to the core. So your arms and legs and even your neck and your head get shunted to the core. So then it doesn't have what it needs to keep your skin basically doing what it's supposed to be doing, which is supposed to regulate. So you're going to just dump all your sweat gland water and you're going to be super sweaty. This typically happens with people having heart attacks, breathing problems, especially diabetics. Like if you've ever had like a really bad fever at night and you just had the night sweats, that's diaphoresis. So they're diaphoretic. So after a crash like this, being diaphoretic just means that the body did what it needed to do. But it's a concern because that means it was that big of an incident where the body's like, I need to do what I need to do to survive.
Give me a grab, squeeze.
But I got it.
Can you move your toes down here? Yeah, no, I don't know which. I never got mine. Either one. Can you move your right leg?
It's cool. We got these two right here.
Just move your toes. Sorry, just move your toes. Don't move the leg.
Yeah, I can move them. Yeah.
So moving the toes, pulse motor sensory (PMS) is what we check. Remember, I haven't been a firefighter since 2018, so new things, new acronyms come up. But back when I did it, PMS, pulse motor sensory. So right now, with the legs, you saw the feet moving. We take the boots off, check the pedal pulse, which is there's a pulse right on the bottom of on the top of your foot. If you can barely check it, it's just like checking your radial pulse, just to see if the blood flow is moving. Motor, seeing if the actual foot moves. That's important because that's for more of the nervous system, seeing if it does that. And sensory is when you actually touch it. It's like, do you feel what I'm doing? Like I'm touching the bottom of your foot, touching your toes. Which toe am I touching? That's so you have the sensory still going. So you want to check for pulse, which is the circulatory system, to see if the blood flow is still going to the tissues, so that you know if anywhere in the artery or veins down to that point have maybe been broken. And then motor, seeing if they can actually move it, good for the nervous system. Sensory, same thing, good for the nervous system. That's what he was asking for.
Okay.
And that's making over here. Sorry.
We can feel me touching?
Yes, sir.
You feel me touching? He did the sensory part.
PMS times 4, Taylor. I'll just.
PMS times 4. So PMS for both arms, both legs. PMS times 4.
Once the ambulance gets here, we'll load and go.
They're here right now.
So once we get that going, we're loading and going because they know that surgery is going to be the only thing that they can do. They expose everything. They have everything. They're stopping any life-threatening injuries. But we have to go because surgery is going to be the only thing.
Okay, let's load her up once they get out. Real load and go, guys.
You want to splint that out?
What's that?
Splint that one.
We might as well just cut this all the way out. She has these other pants on. So just don't cut the belt.
Might have to splint one of the legs, but they're definitely going to do a.
And then,
I'm assuming they're going to do a backboard.
And then we'll move her. What's up? We're going to leave these jeans behind. What's up?
I was trying to
knee. You said your hip hurt right here, correct?
So hip injury. So far we have hip injury, right tib fib injury, right knee injury, nothing upper body. So the fact that she jumped made it to where the core, which is where all your vital organs are, didn't get injury. So it's just the legs. So that did save, yeah.
Pelvis is stable.
Pelvis is stable, good.
Painful.
Painful but stable.
I don't want to cut your jacket unless If you think we can take it off without cutting, I know these jackets are expensive, so
I think
That's we would do that.
okay.
We would offer
So I'm gonna try and help you here.
because originally no pain on the upper body, so able to maneuver the jacket off will save the patient some money. Customer service is part of the deal too.
I know these jackets are expensive. Jeans are replaceable. If you think you can pull your arm out, let's do it. If it hurts too much, then we'll.
Yeah, if it hurts too much, we're just gonna cut it.
Sure. And then we'll just pull this out from underneath her, and then we'll get that arm out over there. Yeah.
All right, so that's the monitor. Looks like they had blood pressure. That's a blood pressure cuff line right there. So they probably just disconnected it, keeping the blood pressure on the cuff on her. So they got their vitals. So they got the pulse ox probably. So they got blood oxygen. They got the pulse rate. They got blood pressure. Pretty much everything you need for now. There's the spine board. Looks like a scoop board. So it probably comes apart and you can slide it underneath. Kind of like a scissor. It does this and you put it underneath and then close it. And you can lift off so that way you don't have to log roll. But let's see if they log roll.
And who are you to her? You're just someone helping.
Thank you very much.
Yeah,
Everybody,
for your help.
nobody else was involved, right? Everybody else was just.
And that's the captain probably monitoring the scene. He had the scribe. So they're just gonna cut the. They're gonna cut that.
So it's just your right leg that's hurting you?
Yeah, my left foot, and yes, from like about a little above the knee all the way down.
Okay.
Oh, now I can feel my left shoulder hurt.
Okay.
So it's probably it's probably motorcycle boots with the zipper on the side. So that's what he saw. He's like, I'm not gonna cut the laces. I mean, laces are replaceable too.
You gotta get strong radio on both sides.
Strong radial on both sides, both arms. That's good.
Get an initial one for you really quick.
So with the abdomen right there kind of exposed, there's been times where it was like a normal abdomen, but by the time like 5-10 minutes into it, it looked like the person was pregnant, and that's internal bleeding. Like not pregnant, like, third trimester, but they're starting to become like a baby bump. And it's like, uh-oh, we've got some internal bleeding. We got to get out of here, especially if the vitals start, changing. It's like, no, we got to get out of here. And I've seen that with the mid-femur fracture too, where it just starts swelling. And it's a weird thing. It's like, so if they're laying on the ground and it starts swelling, you'll just see like the skin just pool, like it just pools out. And it's just like there's a fluid in there. It's just fluidy. It's not like a normal leg. And it's like, oh, we got some bleeding in there. We got to really take care of this.
You want this left leg?
Which means we got to get out of here. Sometimes the best medication that an EMS can do is gasoline and oxygen, or diesel and oxygen, which means we're
No
gone.
deformity or anything. It's just what? That's fine.
Yeah, so right now they're getting prepped. They're getting the stretcher ready. It looks like they're going to log roll. He's behind them with the stretcher or the spine board. And so they're going to roll her onto it, strap her to the spine board, lift up, put it on the stretcher. And then right here, that's a drug box, the medication box, just in case they have to give anything for pain.
Yes, sir.
So she has pain that leg and this hip. Okay.
I mean, just think, like,
Leg from the knee down.
all these guys,
Going, ma'am.
like, look at the job they're doing. Like this,
30 miles an hour.
So what we're gonna do is
yeah, they were going 30,
coordinating your right side. Or are we going?
or she was going 30, but
Let's roll
I mean,
it.
like,
towards
these guys are doing a great job.
and then
Okay.
They're moving.
Roll you this.
This is all probably within 10 minutes.
Underneath you, we're gonna roll you up on the board. Okay, here we go. Yeah, just gonna check the back too while we're down here.
Yeah, I gotcha. Make sure check that ball. I got it. She hit that. rock.
Yeah, about 8-9 minutes already.
Press on it.
Yeah, I have one.
You usually want to get people off the scene within 10 minutes, so they're doing pretty good.
All right, so we're gonna roll you back to the right. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
So they're doing a log roll. So they're supporting the leg that is painful. So you need multiple people. And so one person's holding the leg, the rest are log rolling so that they can keep it in line and not as painful as possible.
How are we?
Usually,
We'll give you some pain medication.
usually morphine, but some medical directors can offer their paramedics with training to do like ketamine and a few other things. It's all based on the need. Yeah, wearing the braces.
I have a little method.
And that's another thing is that she had the braces, the protection, the external armor, and then that's where the injuries were on the tib fib and the knee. It could have been a complete break. Like it's just doing this, but maybe the armor mitigated a lot of the impact, and it's just a regular break. It's not just like an amputated break. So it's really good. Yeah, her legs could have been shattered. So this is what I'm talking about when it comes to being a smart rider. Is definitely you never know, and it's just going to mitigate severity of some of that stuff.
She didn't have any head scratches.
Helmet also probably saved her life.
A little tiny one. The fingerprint.
So we're gonna lift you up now, okay?
I want to see the accident. Okay, so right here, they're strapping down. That one might hurt a lot, but that's where it's tied to the board because that's where the injury is. Might be a little loose. The goal is just to keep the patient on the board. You don't want the patient falling off. The abdomen one might work. That's a C collar right there. It's to keep the head in line. It's not going to stop you from doing this. So what we typically say is like, hey, we're going to put this on you. Just answer with your voice, yes or no. Don't shake your head, no. Don't shake your head, yes. Keep it in line. Just keep looking forward. You should have a head block, which is also going to be on the sides of that. Arms are they're fine. If they're unconscious, we'll strap them in like this so that they're not flailing down like that. And they're going to lift from the head to toe over onto the stretcher right now. So they lift it up. And so all the firefighters are making sure, once again, that they're going to ensure their own safety. So part of what the rescue comes from is my experience as a firefighter, is that I wanted to make sure that we remain calm and sure on safety. That is something that we always had to do, because if we're amped up, we're not protecting ourselves, somebody else hits us, we're all screwed.
Right now, skins are diaphoretic, normal color, but diaphoretic.
Normal color, diaphoretic. Normal color is good. If it's a pale, cool, and clammy, that's not good. It means blood flow is going somewhere else other than the skin, but diaphoresis, not.
Is this her, is this hers?
There's pain.
Is this Rhino Works bag yours?
Yeah, that bag is hers.
Okay, thank you.
Just hang by for 1 second.
Throw that in the back.
Gotcha.
Throw in the seat in there and throw in the back there with her.
This too. Those are your shin guards right there.
So she's now being strapped into the gurney. So the gurney straps are going to keep her with the spine. So the spine board is just a splint for the spine. It's not comfortable at all. So the goal is that when they get to the hospital, one of the things is obviously trying to prevent any life injuries or life-threatening injuries, but the doctor will run x-rays real quick or make a determination, because the doctor does the determination. They're the ones that diagnose. EMS can't diagnose. That he might say, or she might say, hey, we don't need the spine board. That's based off of what they want to do. So they'll take them off the spine board after that. But yeah, that's what's on there. It's not comfortable at all. Okay, so that chair where the bag goes, that's where the medic usually sits. So they're gonna roll her in. It's gonna lock into here. It's gonna lock into that thing over there. This is designed, if anybody's sitting right here, if there's a head-on collision, they run into that, like they fly into that versus actually flying into the front. I've been in the back of an ambulance, so I ran an ambulance. Like I'd clean this thing after every call. There's the O2 tank, so it locks in right there, and they're gonna pull back, and it catches. They lift up. Now, if it's a hydraulic, there's a button. If not, the guys, okay, it's hydraulic. They're gonna slide it in. It's gonna lock in right here. You gotta no, you're missing it. You missed it. Bring it over. You missed it. So that's supposed to go right there. Oh, they probably just pulled it. So they pulled it, locked it in. So slight injuries, not too much. You got a wrist right there, a little bit on the forehead, probably from the helmet, but it's much better than a caved in skull. So there's the monitor with the BP. They're getting another set of vitals. In an emergency situation like this, you get them every 5 minutes. If it's a non-emergency, about every 10 to 15 minutes. So they're just constantly getting a trend report. So this is probably the paramedic right here with the blue helmet.
So we're gonna get going. My part, we're still trying to paint a solid for the battle. My part is gonna make contact with you.
There's the drug box. There's a sharps container. You can barely see it, so when he does the needles, he can put it in the sharps container. That's painful. So he's probably gonna get an IV just to get it in, because if for some reason the veins collapse because of blood pressure and loss of volume,
Right? Let's look at the positives.
so he wants to at least get an IV going. Yeah, and this is fine. The adrenaline just dumps. So now he's gonna get at least a 4 lead or a 3 lead. So boom, 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 boom. We're gonna check the heart, see if any type of abnormal rhythms, and if he sees anything that is not good, we're gonna do a 12 lead. So that's when you get all of them on. So just up here. I've done that hundreds of times.
Is it okay for me to hold on to this?
So guy up front said rolling, confirmed saying rolling. Everyone knows.
Whatever you need to do.
I hope the drunk driver, gets max penalty for this, because look how much trauma it does to somebody.
That I found so far is really stable, other than the ride. Everything is checking out really stable. Okay.
So that's good bedside manner right there. Good bedside manner.
I'm not finding any real major injuries. I don't even know if you have any broken.
123.
Okay.
This is the outside.
My left leg goes so I'm pretty sure that my left leg's broken.
I'm looking at it and it's.
Oh, it might be the 360 camera in the corner.
Gashing. Okay. Well, I don't think
I jump off.
pretty significant damage from your motorcycle on the front. It's a good thing your body didn't get it.
I jumped off the bike.
I love that. So the bike, when we're talking about mechanism of injury, we usually look at cars or like the vehicle that the person in, and if it's like destroyed, we assume the body is also destroyed. So the fact that she jumped off saved her life.
You absolutely did the right thing.
Yeah, so keeping the patient calm with good, like, actual information. So one thing that it does is that the patient could just be hyperventilating, getting more and more, so the mental will affect the physical. So if the patient has an issue with like the heart or the lungs or there's bleeding, you really want to calm them down so that their mental doesn't affect the physical. Okay, so here we go. Still ongoing, okay. I wonder if they found him. I did not sustain any broken bones in the accident. However, I did herniate a disc in the thoracic area. So the thoracic area is in the upper back. So the lumbar is down here. So thoracic is up here. Cervical is up here. Yeah, so lumbar. So upper back, basically. Which will most likely result in corrective surgery. I have a torn rotator cuff in the left shoulder, which requires surgery and physical therapy is ongoing for the torn meniscus in the left knee. So that's where the pain came from in the left knee. So it wasn't a tib fib break. That's good. But the meniscus in the knee, that's the little pads that are basically your femur kind of sits on. Nerve damage from a severe gash in the left shin and the torn ligaments in both of my feet and ankles. Nerve damage and ligaments are not good. Either the meniscus, 'cause that doesn't heal on its own. Maybe PRP, like prolotherapy, platelet-rich plasma, could help out with some of that stuff. The nerve damage, hopefully it reconnects. I'd rather have a broken bone than ligaments. I was forced to take temporary unpaid leave of absence from work, and along with physical and emotional challenges, I'm now facing overwhelming. Yeah, I set up a GoFundMe, including a link below. Any amount, if you can contribute, will make a huge difference. A drunk driver. What's the GoFundMe? If you guys want to, I'm not saying you have to, but the GoFundMe is right there. I'll include the GoFundMe in the review, the final video. This is gonna be a long video. What do you guys think? We'll talk about it after this is done, when we get back into class, okay? All right, car pulls out without looking. Okay.
No, you're good, man.
You see what I mean when it's like all of the rest of this video is gonna be a non-issue, right? The rest of this video is gonna be a non-issue. We just went through what actually happens on a real thing. So when I say let these things go, this is not a big deal. This right here is what I'm talking about. It could be so much worse. If you do in the GoFundMe, let them know that we saw them. This is the DDFM crew helping out. Like, hey, cool, we crashed. How do we solve that problem, right? How do we solve that problem? Just don't accelerate super hard. Maybe there's gravel, but if we have gear, we're doing fine, right? Here we go.
The driver
What do we got here? We have a Cardo. Oh, geez, you getting on our lane, dude.
The rider's patience a few times.
This might be an hour-long video. Okay, so just roll off the throttle, apply some brakes, let that person be in front of you, increase your space cushion, you know. Oh, wait, Trent, you're here. Hey, I hope you're doing fine. And you've been a member. You're a member. I didn't even know. Hope you're doing fine. I did not know that. Hopefully my assessment makes sense to you. I just wanted to give you some understanding, and it's teaching everybody else too. Okay, see, like all this stuff is not a big deal. Like none of this is a big deal. We're just moving on. He does have a Carter though. I like that. Here we go. Stanislav. Okay, somebody's peeking out over. Not a big deal. Kind of move over, different space cushion. Captain Carrot Jr. Here we go.
Was fortunate that the oncoming cars were driving at safe speeds. Thankfully,
we increase the speed on that. Be careful. Just keep it nice, easy, maintain speed going through here. Okay. Well, we got a car coming. Oh, we dumped the bike. It wasn't really the car's fault. Our legs are probably hurting. Yeah. Oh. Yeah, that sucks. So just take it nice and easy. Don't panic when you see a car coming out like that. We got side of the vehicle right there. Very easy to see right there. Okay, apply the brakes. Let them in. Go ahead and honk the horn. Not a big deal. Moving on. It could be worse. It could be worse. It could be a drunk driver head on. See, this is why I don't care about the road rage stuff. I really don't care. It's not a big deal. Oh, there's a deer. Ooh, watch out. There's going to be more. Having some fun. Be careful. Nice little omen to relax a little bit. Professional driver doesn't understand lanes on a roundabout. Okay, here we go. So we're going in and roundabout. This is going to be an orange stage situation. You got to be watching out for that. Okay, okay. I love this community. I didn't even know that you were a member. It's just, I see so many things. It just sucks that like a member of this community got into that position. You know what I mean? Give her a biker wave in the chat. So we just saw this whole situation right here, and that's one of our members. That right there. So it's a small world. Yeah, I don't even care about the rest of this. So make sure you guys grab yourself a donut. There's a link to the GoFundMe in the chat. There is a sale going on with this, but you know what? Maybe save the 50% off that you're getting from that. Put it to the GoFundMe. I don't know. Just go to the GoFundMe. With that said, hope you guys ride safe, be safe. I will be seeing you guys later. Thank you for joining the crew. We have one more video on this live stream.